The mysterious box delivery. Jake lived alone in a small house at the edge of the city. He worked as a mechanic during the day and spent most nights watching sci-fi shows or fixing old machines. He didn't have many friends, and life felt empty after his dog passed away a year ago. One evening, while scrolling on his tablet, Jake saw an ad. Gen 6 Smart Pet, the future of companionship. Limited units. Order now. The pet looked strange in the picture, covered by shadows with glowing eyes, but the reviews were amazing. People said it was lifelike, emotionally intelligent, and loyal like no other. The price was cheap, almost too good to be true. Feeling lonely, Jake clicked order. 3 nights later at 3 a.m., something knocked hard on Jake's front door. Bang, bang, bang. He jumped up from his bed, confused and half asleep. When he opened the door, there was no one, just a large black crate sitting silently on his porch. No label, no brand, no delivery man in sight. The box was cold and humming slightly, like it had power running through it. Written on the top were only 2 words. For Jake. Jake dragged the heavy box inside. As he touched it, the hum grew louder. A small screen on the side lit up. Unit locked. Voice, key needed. Jake leaned closer, unsure. Unlock? He said, joking. The box clicked. With a slow hiss, the front of the crate opened. Inside was not what he expected. Instead of a small furry robot, a girl was curled up inside. She looked about 16, young, delicate, and glowing faintly blue. Her skin was smooth but not human. Her eyes, though closed, shimmered like galaxies. She wore a silver suit that seemed too thin for the cold air. Jake froze. She wasn't moving. "Hey, are you okay?" he whispered. Her eyes slowly opened and she looked up at him, confused and scared. Then softly, in a voice like a song, she said, "Master?" Jake took a step back. "Whoa, no, I think you've got the wrong guy." She tried to sit up, but her body was weak. She looked around the room, blinking, then turned her eyes to Jake again. "I am your pet. Registered. Cannot return. System locked." "What?" Jake blinked. "You're a smart pet?" She nodded, slowly. Generation 6 biosynth model. Bond complete. Jake didn't know what to do. This wasn't a robot, this was a person or something close to it. He opened his tablet and searched the order page, but the website was gone. Just an error message. 404. Site not found. Panic rose in his chest. "You need help," he said, walking toward her. Suddenly the lights in the room flickered. She looked scared. Her hands glowed slightly as she held her chest. Jake stopped, worried. "Hey, it's okay. I won't hurt you." She stared at him for a few seconds, then relaxed. Her glow dimmed, and the lights stopped flickering. Jake grabbed a blanket and gently wrapped it around her. She flinched at first, but then leaned into the warmth. "What's your name?" he asked. She paused. "Name not assigned. Awaiting master input." Jake sighed. "I'm not your master. But let's call you Luna, all right?" She tilted her head. "Luna, accepted." That night, Jake let Luna sleep on the couch. He sat, nearby, unable to sleep, watching her as she slept peacefully under the blanket. So many questions raced through his mind. Where did she come from? Who made her? Why was she sent to him? He noticed a glowing mark on her wrist, like a barcode, but written in strange symbols. He took a picture with his phone, planning to search for answers tomorrow. As dawn broke, Luna slowly opened her eyes. She smiled softly and whispered, "Good morning, Jake." Jake didn't know what was happening, but one thing was sure. His life had just changed forever. And outside, in the quiet early light, something high above his house blinked. A black drone hovered in the sky. Watching. She speaks in code Luna. Wasn't just strange, she was impossible. Jake had lived with machines his whole life. He built robots, fixed engines, and coded systems. But never had he seen anything like her. That morning, when he tried to offer her breakfast, Luna only tilted her head. "This is Fuel? She asked, staring at the eggs like they were alien. Jake chuckled. It's food. You eat it. She reached out and gently touched the plate. In that moment, the eggs vanished, absorbed into her skin as glowing dust. Jake dropped his fork in shock. What the hell? Luna blinked slowly. Absorbed. Energy sufficient. Thank you, Master. Stop calling me that, he said, still stunned. And you just ate through your fingers? She nodded softly, as if this was normal. That day, Jake tried learning more. He asked her simple questions, like where she was from or what she remembered, but her answers were strange. Core planet redacted, memory locked, protocol 5 to 1 to 7 running, corrupted lines 37%. She spoke like a machine, but looked and felt so human. Every word she said was mixed with odd codes and glitchy sentences. It wasn't just words either. Whenever she got nervous, her fingers started moving, like typing in the air. And every time she did, something changed in the house. The fridge suddenly overcooled. The lights dimmed or turned blue. His smart TV played alien symbols on screen. At first, Jake thought it was coincidence, but by afternoon he was sure. Luna was hacking reality. Later that night, Jake brought her a tablet, hoping she'd use it instead of messing with the house systems. Luna took it in her hands. Her eyes glowed faintly. Within seconds, the screen was filled with alien script. Symbols moved across the screen like living creatures. Spirals, triangles, blinking patterns. Jake watched, stunned. What is that? What language are you using? Luna looked up. Original code, pre-galactic, not designed for your tech. Then how can this tablet handle it? She answered with something that sent chills down his spine. I made it understand. That night, as Jake slept restlessly on the floor beside the couch, a sound woke him. He sat up. Luna was humming in a soft tone, a melody that didn't feel human. She was standing near the wall, her hand pressed gently against it. Blue energy flowed from her fingers into the surface. Jake stood quietly, watching. Then the wall, the solid wooden wall, changed. For a moment, it shimmered and became transparent. Behind it, he could see a projection, a star map. Dozens of glowing stars. Lines connecting worlds. He gasped. Luna noticed and quickly stopped. The wall returned to normal. I'm sorry, she whispered. I was remembering. Jake walked over. What was that? My path home. The next day, Jake tried something new. He showed Luna a language app on his computer. If you want to talk clearer, he said. Maybe this can help. Luna stared at the screen. Then, in 1 second, she tapped her finger on the keyboard, just once. The entire app froze, then rebooted. When it restarted, it was filled with hundreds of new alien language options, languages Jake had never seen before. Jake's jaw dropped. You rewrote the software? I improved it, she said calmly. I want you to understand me better. Later, as Jake tried backing up her changes, something even stranger happened. He found a folder on his computer, one he hadn't made. Inside it were video files, all dated years before Luna arrived. But they were of her. As a child, as a teen, training, running, crying. In one she was screaming inside a dark lab, hands strapped to a glowing table. Jake stared at the screen in horror. Luna, he whispered. You were in some kind of lab. You were experimented on. She walked up beside him and placed a hand on his shoulder. My memory is coming back, she said softly. But I don't think they want me to remember. Outside, unknown to either of them, a red light blinked quietly on the roof. Someone, or something, had just tracked her location. And it was coming. Hidden powers. Hidden. Past the morning started like any other. Jake was making coffee, yawning, trying to shake off the weirdness of the past 2 days. Luna sat quietly at the table, watching the steam rise from her cup of warm water. She didn't drink it. She never ate. But she said the warmth helped her feel alive. Then something strange happened. As Jake reached for his coffee mug, it slipped from his hand. It was about to hit the floor until it stopped mid-air. Floating, not breaking. Just hanging there like time had paused. Jake turned slowly. Luna's hand was raised, her eyes glowing faint blue. She was holding the mug in the air, without touching it. Jake stared, frozen. She blinked, and the mug gently floated back into his hand. "Sorry," she said softly. "I didn't mean to scare you." Jake stepped back. You didn't even move." "I used to be better at it," she whispered, almost to herself. "It's still coming back." "What's coming back?" Jake asked. Luna looked down. At her hands. All of it. Later that day, Luna asked Jake for something strange. "Can you bring me a magnet? And copper wire?" Jake blinked. "What do you want to build?" "A memory trigger." She sat cross-legged on the floor as she twisted wires together in a pattern Jake couldn't recognize. The magnet spun on its own, humming. Then she placed her hand over it and closed her eyes. Suddenly the room felt cold. Her body lit up with symbols, glowing tattoos that weren't there before. Her skin shimmered with alien writing. Her hair lifted like static was dancing around her. She spoke, but not in English, not even in code. It was a song, a language made of sound, vibration, and light. Jake felt like the air itself was listening. Then, silence. Luna fell back, breathing hard. The lights around them burst. She looked up at Jake, and tears formed in her glowing eyes. "I remember the cage, the testing room, the other prototypes." "You're a prototype?" Jake asked, kneeling beside her. "Yes," she whispered. "Prototype X9, created by the Varn Dominion, trained to obey, to destroy if commanded." Jake's heart sank. "You were made to be a weapon." Luna nodded. "But I ran, I escaped, I hid my memory. That's why they can't find me yet." Jake's heart sank. "You were made to be a weapon." Luna nodded. "But I ran, I escaped, I hid my memory. That's why they can't find me yet." Jake held her hand gently. "They're still looking for you, aren't they?" She didn't answer, but her glowing tears said everything. That night the house security system went off. Jake grabbed a flashlight and rushed outside. Nothing was broken, but the fence had a hole melted through it. He checked the camera footage. At 2:14 a.m., something had passed by, tall, metallic, and moving like liquid metal. No face, no sound. Just a red pulse where its heart should be. Luna stood behind him, silent. "That's a tracer," she whispered. "They've found me." In the morning, Luna told Jake she needed help. Not to fight, but to understand her own powers. Jake took her to the old junkyard he owned behind his workshop. He told her to show what she could do. She closed her eyes and raised one hand toward a pile of metal scraps. The pile exploded into the air, then shaped itself into a floating cube. A perfect metal sculpture. Jake's eyes widened. "That's not tech. That's something else. It's like biopsionics," she said. "My energy responds to thought and feeling. When I trust, it listens." Jake looked at her, stunned. "Then why are you afraid to use it?" "Because if I lose control, people die." Later, Jake gave her a mirror. For a long time, Luna just stared at her reflection. "I was never supposed to feel," she whispered. "But now, I do. When you speak, my heart moves. I don't want to go back." Jake placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then you won't." But deep in orbit above Earth, something was watching. A silent ship, a blinking red signal, and a voice. "Target located. Prepare retrieval." Government knocks, Aliens Watch It began with a hum. Not from Luna, not from the machines in Jake's garage, but from the sky. A low, vibrating hum that made the birds stop flying and the wind go still. Jake looked up and saw something strange, a cloud that didn't move. Perfectly shaped, perfectly still. He narrowed his eyes. There was something inside that cloud. Watching. Later that afternoon, a black car rolled up to Jake's home. No plates, no logos. Just tinted windows and silence. A tall man in a dark suit stepped out. He wore black gloves and round glasses. His smile was fake. His voice was smooth like oil. "Mr. Jake Miller?" the man asked. Jake hesitated. "Who's asking?" The man held out a badge. No name. Just a symbol, an eye inside a triangle. "We're with Interstellar Activity Response, IAR. Just a small agency handling strange shipments." Jake felt his throat go dry. "I don't know what you're talking about," the man smiled wider. "We believe a highly advanced bio-unit may have been misdelivered to this address. A prototype. Dangerous, but very valuable." Inside, Luna was hiding in the attic. She had heard everything. Her skin started glowing again and her heart began to race. Jake tried to stay calm. "Look, I ordered a pet, got scammed maybe, that's it." The man leaned in, whispering coldly, "Let me be clear. If you're hiding her, you won't just lose your house. You'll lose yourself." Jake's fists clenched, but he said nothing. The man handed him a small card. "We'll be watching." He turned and walked back to the car. Before leaving, he looked up. Right at the attic window. Right at Luna. Then the car drove away. Inside, Jake locked all the doors. Luna dropped down from the attic, her body trembling. "They're not just Earth government," she said. "They're linked to the Varn Dominion. They're using Earth as a hunting ground." Jake stared at her. "Wait, are you saying Earth is working with the aliens who made you?" "They promised power, technology. The cost was silence." That night, Jake took Luna to the basement. He had an old bomb shelter under the house, unused for years. "It's safe here," he said. Luna placed her hand on the wall. Her glowing touch turned the walls into energy shields. "Now it is." Jake looked at her. "You said they're coming for you. What happens when they do?" Luna looked at him with eyes full of pain. "They'll take me back, wipe my memories, reprogram me, or worse, use me to hunt others." Jake's voice was firm. "Then we fight." She shook her head. "You can't fight them. You're just human." But Jake smiled. "Exactly. That's what they'll never expect." Elsewhere, far above the Earth, the Varn Dominion ship received new data. A life signal. Confirmed. She had reactivated part of her power. "Deploy the collector," the commander ordered. No witnesses, no survivors. Back on Earth, Jake and Luna worked through the night. He gave her access to his old tech, junkyard parts, busted drones, hacking tools. Luna moved like lightning. She didn't just use the tech. She spoke to it, every wire bent for her. Every signal obeyed her command. Jake watched, amazed. "You're not just a pet. You're a miracle." She smiled faintly. "Or a mistake." Jake stepped closer. "Maybe. But you're my mistake now." They both laughed, just for a moment, before the power suddenly died. The entire house went black. Outside, the silent cloud in the sky finally moved. It began to descend. In the dark, Luna whispered, "They're here." Jake grabbed an old blaster from the shelf and handed it to her. "Then let's make them regret it." As Luna's body began to glow brighter than ever before, she turned to Jake and said something she had never said until now. "I'm not afraid anymore." And neither was he. Escape to the underground boom. The roof of Jake's house exploded in a burst of red light. Flames licked the sky. Metal screeched as drones dropped from above like vultures. Inside the basement, Jake grabbed Luna's hand. "We have to go now." Luna's glow brightened as fear and power mixed inside her. "They've sent a collector," she whispered, trembling. They never send that unless they want something erased. Jake didn't ask questions. He just pulled her down the hidden tunnel, one only he knew about. It wasn't in any map, not even digital records. He had built it after the last alien scare, just in case Earth was ever invaded. Now it was saving them both. As they ran through the dark, damp tunnel beneath the city, Luna's body started to flicker. Her steps slowed. "What's wrong?" Jake asked. "My energy is low. I used too much to block the scan." Jake stopped, tore off his jacket, and wrapped her in it. "Don't quit now. I know someone who can help." "Who?" Jake didn't answer. He just kept running. 10 blocks away, in a scrapyard hidden behind a broken electric gate, a shack stood silent under the moonlight. Jake banged on the door 3 times. Pause. Twice more. A small panel slid open. A robotic voice spoke. "State your business." "It's me, Flint," Jake said. "I brought something. Someone important." Silence. Then the door opened, revealing a short man with oily goggles and cybernetic arms. "Jake? I thought you were dead." Jake stepped inside with Luna. "Not yet, but if you don't help us, we both will be." Flint ran a secret underground lab. Not government, not legal, but smart. Very smart. He looked at Luna and raised an eyebrow. "Biosynthetic? Fully sentient?" "She's more than that," Jake said. "She's alive. She's remembering. And now they're hunting her." Flint's eyes widened. "The Varn?" Luna nodded slowly. Flint didn't ask questions. He just got to work. He placed her in a scanner built from alien tech and powered by old Earth batteries. As lights scanned over her body, Luna winced. The screen showed strange symbols, codes Jake couldn't read. "She's breaking down," Flint muttered. "But not because she's weak, because something inside her is locking itself up." "Can you fix it?" Jake asked. Flint smiled. "I can unlock it." Luna opened her eyes and whispered, "It's not safe. If you unlock me, I change." Flint tilted his head. "Into what?" "I don't know," she said. "Something they feared." Jake held her hand. "Then let's show them why." Flint placed a small black cube in her hand. "This is an energy bridge. It'll refill your core, but it may also awaken everything inside you." Luna nodded. "Do it." The cube pulsed. Luna's body arched as power surged through her. The scanner beeped wildly. Her veins lit up like stars. Symbols ran across her skin like flowing ink. She screamed. Then, silence. When her eyes opened again, they weren't just glowing blue, they were blazing white. Jake stepped back. "Luna?" he asked. She turned to him and smiled. "I remember everything." Above ground, the collector was scanning ruins. Its voice boomed through the sky. "Subject X9, last warning. Surrender or this sector will be sterilized." Underground. Luna looked up. "No," she whispered. "I'm not running anymore." Jake loaded his old drone weapon system. Flint opened a portal interface that could jam alien frequencies for 12 seconds. Luna stood between them, glowing like a star. "I'm not your pet," she said. "I'm not your tool." She stepped onto the lift platform. "And I'm not afraid of what I am." As the elevator rose toward the surface, Jake followed her, heart pounding. Not because he feared the collector, but because Luna was no longer the girl in the crate. She was something far more powerful, and the war had just begun. The hunter arrives. The sky turned red, not from sunset, from the arrival. A ripple tore through the clouds like someone had slashed the sky with a knife. Thunder cracked, but there was no storm. Above the ruined street, something descended slowly. Massive, silent, heavy like judgment. A tall, armored figure dropped to the ground with a quake. It didn't land. It claimed the earth beneath its feet. The hunter had arrived. Silver-black armor, 7 glowing eyes on its helmet. No mouth, no voice. Just a humming vibration that rattled the ground with each step. The collector was built to retrieve lost Varn property. But this one wasn't just a collector. This one was a reclaimer, meant to eliminate everything between it and the target. It scanned the area. Target locked, Luna X9. Biocode reactivated, and it began walking, through flames, through broken buildings, through fear itself. Underground, Luna's eyes snapped open. Jake felt the shift before he even saw her move. The temperature dropped. Sparks in the air froze mid-flight. "He's here," Luna said, her voice distant. "Not just a drone, not a signal, him." Jake grabbed his weapon. "Can we outrun it?" Luna shook her head. "No, he doesn't stop, doesn't sleep, doesn't speak." Flint's hands trembled as he handed Jake a small device. "EMP blaster, only stuns for 5 seconds. After that, pray." Jake and Luna rose up from the underground hatch. The night was still, too still. Then, boom. The reclaimer stepped out of the shadows slow and steady. It raised one arm. From its palm, light formed into a blade made of plasma. Luna stepped in front of Jake. "I won't let him hurt you." Without warning, she moved, not like before. This time, she vanished in a flash of white light, reappearing behind the reclaimer in midair. Her foot slammed into its back with a shockwave that cracked the ground. The reclaimer stumbled but didn't, while it turned, too fast, and struck with its energy blade. Luna blocked it with her arm. Her skin burned, but she didn't scream. Jake tried to help, firing the EMP blaster. Click. Boom. The pulse hit. The reclaimer froze, just for 3 seconds. Jake ran toward Luna, yelling, "We've got to finish it now." Luna looked at him, and her voice echoed strangely. "I was built to be controlled. Now I choose to fight." She raised both hands. A symbol glowed on her forehead, a mark even Jake hadn't seen before. The air bent around her as blue-white energy burst from her body like wings. She charged the reclaimer, pushing him back with raw power. But the hunter adapted. Its body morphed, forming a second blade. Now it fought faster, harder, almost angry. Blades clashed. Light exploded. Buildings cracked from the shockwaves. Jake could only watch, helpless as Luna pushed herself past her limit. Her glow flickered, her movement slowed. She was burning out. "Luna! You need to stop," Jake shouted. She looked back at him, eyes full of fire and sadness. "If I stop, he'll kill you." And then, for the first time since she arrived on Earth, she screamed, not in fear, in rage, in freedom. Her body pulsed one final time, an explosion of energy that sent the reclaimer flying through a building, burying it under rubble. Then, silence. Luna fell to her knees, breathing hard. Her glow faded to a soft flicker. Jake ran to her side, catching her before she collapsed. "You did it," he whispered. Luna shook her head weakly. "No, he'll get back up, they always do." From the rubble, a red light blinked. One by one, the reclaimer's eyes began to glow again. It was getting back up. But this time, someone else arrived. A second figure dropped from the sky. Smaller, faster, female. Also, glowing, and she looked exactly like Luna. Jake stepped back, stunned. Who is that?" Luna looked up and whispered, "Prototype X10. Her sister. Bond beyond." Code 2 girls stood in the street. Same eyes, same glow, same alien markings. But only one of them looked at Jake with warmth. The new arrival, X10, was colder. Her skin glowed white-hot, her movements sharp and fast like a weapon ready to strike. She didn't speak. She didn't blink. She just walked toward the broken reclaimer and helped it stand back up. Jake's heart dropped. "Luna, what's happening?" Luna struggled to her feet. Her voice cracked. "She's like me, same creators, same training. But she never escaped. They finished her programming." Jake clenched his fists. "So she's fully controlled?" Luna nodded. "No emotions, no choices, just mission." The reclaimer and X10 stood side by side. And then finally, X10 spoke. You are corrupted. Return for reset, or be deleted. Luna stepped forward, shaking but unafraid. I found something stronger than programming, something you don't have. X10 tilted her head. Error. Clarify. Luna looked at Jake. A reason to fight. With that, Luna lifted her hands. She didn't attack, she reached toward her sister. I don't want to hurt you, you can be free too, but X10 didn't understand. She charged. Blades out, Jake screamed. Luna, move! But Luna didn't move. She stood still and caught her sister's strike. Barehanded. Their glowing energy clashed like lightning. Sparks flew across the street. Luna held on, whispering softly. I remember when we were tested, when we cried. You held my hand. You felt it too. For the first time. X10 hesitated. Her eyes blinked once, twice. Then, just for a moment, her grip weakened. Luna reached up and touched her forehead. Light exploded between them. Jake shielded his eyes as the shock wave pushed everything back. When he looked up, the two girls were floating mid-air. Connected by a glowing energy chain, Luna was crying. X10 was frozen, her body shaking. Then the blades on her arms shattered and fell to the ground like glass. X10 whispered one word, barely audible. Sister. And collapsed into Luna's arms. The reclaimer took a step forward, but this time Jake fired first. Flint's hacked EMP launcher hit it directly. Boom! The reclaimer's systems overloaded, and for the first time, it shut down permanently. Hours later, back in Flint's lab, Luna sat beside her sister, who now rested peacefully in stasis. She's not broken anymore, Luna said. Just sleeping. Jake handed her a warm drink. You gave her a choice. That's what made you different all along. Luna smiled. You taught me that. She looked down at her hands, no longer weapons but protectors. I was made to obey, she said. But you showed me how to feel, to care. Jake sat beside her. I didn't mean to become your human. Luna looked into his eyes. You didn't. You became my home. In the final scene, Luna walks outside with Jake. The sky is clear. No drones, no red lights, only stars above, and hope below. But deep in the galaxy, on a dark Varn ship, a cold voice speaks. X9 is not alone anymore. Prepare for unit rebellion. And so, her story was just the beginning.